Hello, my name is Grace and welcome back to Gravecraft. It's Halloween time, my dudes. I think his eyes are supposed to light up. With Halloween upon us, I have decided to make a costume inspired by Mike Franchina's, ooh, I really hope I did not just butcher his name, combat medic from the upcoming tabletop skirmish game Trench Crusade. So just a quick heads up, this is by no means a sponsored project. I just think the game looks really rad. I mean, what's better than some really cool characters, dirt, and gore? I can't think of anything. So with that, I have left a link to the Kickstarter in the description below so we can get this game rolling as fast as possible. All right, let's dive into the crafting. Let's get to work. Is it a sesame seed? After we clean up our desk, we're able to start drafting our pattern. I'm actually not using Adobe Illustrator this time. I'm going with old-fashioned pen and paper. After we cut out our pattern, I'm going to be adding a little wooden skewer for support. Here I'm taking advantage of the fact that if you pull the Dremel towards you, it skips and creates this really uneven texture, which is perfect for this old, rusty, bloody blade. Ooh, try saying that 10 times fast. After adding lots of textures with my Dremel, I'm grabbing my best friend, Quick Seal. Using my finger and this little sponge that I found, you can add a variety of different textures. While we wait for the Quick Seal to dry, I'm moving on to the shoulders. I found these little wooden rectangles in my hoarded craft supplies and I knew that they would be perfect. I just spray painted them red, masked off the areas I needed to paint white, and used black acrylic to add weathering and dirt and muck. For the fresh blood, I'm going to be using this crimson oil paint, and I realized that now I can't touch any of these pieces for like 5 days while that oil dries. Coming back around to the blade, I added 2 layers of Plasti Dip and then hit the blade part with some Silver Leaf Ribbon Buff. I am using brown and this reddish brown acrylic paint for the old matte blood. I think it's important to keep your old blood matte and then go back in with your oil paints for the fresh new blood. It's important to me to add different textures and also different sheens. It just adds a little bit more to the realism. And for the last finishing touches, I dry brush the handle with this light brown and then an even lighter bone tan color. Okay, next up are the bracers. I am using a pattern from one of my pattern books on Etsy. I have left a link in the description below so you can go and check it out and grab one for yourself. And following along with the same painting style as before, I am using the matte acrylics for the older blood and oil paints for the fresh blood. You will see this painting technique come back up later in the video, and I'll just say now, I will spare you of explaining it again. And again with the hoarded craft supplies. I found this thing, I don't know what it is, and I thought it would be perfect for the mask shape, so I just covered it in saran wrap and tape and drew on my pattern. I transferred it over to some contractor's paper and then cut it out of 2mm craft foam. I actually realize now that this is my last piece of craft foam from TNT Cosplay Supplies, and that has made me very sad. R.I.P. TNT Cosplay Supplies. So there is something wrong with this mask. It's supposed to have 6 of these little notches, and my eyes are too close together, so I cannot see out of this unless I'm looking to the side. Straight on, I can't see anything. Do I remake it? Yeah, I'm gonna remake it. Now we get to move to the corset. I've said it once and I'm going to say it 1,000 times more. I cut out my pattern, glued it together, and I actually had to alter it a bit because it was weird shaped. Next we move to the hip armor and we just cut up the segments and glue them together in like this weird tiered thing. Yeah. After giving it the good old Plastidip and Quick Seal treatment, we spray paint it with Rust-Oleum silver spray paint. Then we go in with our black wash. And you guessed it, more blood. Because there wasn't enough. To make sure your paint is extra splatterable, you just add water to your acrylics and turpentine to your oils. I previously made this belt buckle for my next competition piece, and I basically just used the mold and filled it with hot glue and painted them silver. Ugh. Alright, next up is fabric. I bought this dress from Jeffrey Bezos. Damn it! I got blood on it. And again, I blood splattered it. I used acrylic paints and also red RIT dye. For the bottom, I just used my black wash water and just kind of poured it, splattered it all over. And of course, brown acrylic paint. And then I realized when I picked the dress up that it was really dirty, so I rubbed it in the dirt some more to get it even more dirty. Next, I just used my pattern to make the gimp, which is exactly what it is called. I prefer to call it a cowl though. So spooky. After the coif and cowl were finished, I used the same white bedsheet fabric to make the habit. I sewed in a red lining, and that was pretty much it with the fabric. All that was left were my attachments, and I'm done. Before we take a look at the finished costume, I did just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And of course, I hope that you have the most epic, safest, and spookiest Halloween of all, because it truly is the best time of the year. Let's take a look at our finished combat medic. Don't do a drum roll.